Aloha all. Welcome back. I thought I'd do a video today based basically on the 40th gene key that's transiting right now. And it's so interesting because the way that these energies show up when the gene key's transiting, I sometimes laugh out loud because it's it's such a deep teaching. Like when I say the gene keys is a living field and have said yes to connecting into the field. When a gene key is transiting, you feel it and you see it show up in the circumstances that are in front of you. So I thought I'd devote my commitment to making these videos as the gene keys are transiting and as it pertains to the circumstances that are showing themselves as a beautiful and rich experience in order to repattern the shadow aspects of these keys. And it's why when challenging circumstances occur, as uncomfortable as it is, there is a deep recognition now that it's a gift, that it's for me to unravel yet another layer and release so that I can become lighter, so that I become more expansive and free, you know? And then, of course, as we're unraveling these shadows and the karmic conditions that we have agreed to face in this lifetime, there is this very identified sense of I that doesn't want the experience, that wants its safety and wants its security and really doesn't want to go into the unknown, you know? So there's a deep discomfort in this process. And so when I'm working with people with the gene keys, you know, it comes with a trigger warning. It really, really does. When you say yes to doing this work and moving into this field, it's going to show you aspects of yourself that sometimes bring you to your knees. You know, we look out in the world right now and we see how chaotic it is and how things are crumbling, but it's happening within us all, you know, and our outer manifestations, our outer creations as a collective are a direct insight into what's happening inside of us. So this ascension process that we're all moving through in one form, shape, or another is a process of dismantling. And I don't know that it's ever been done quite this way before, but for me, the gene keys have been the tool to gain the insight so that when the circumstances that are presented to me, I get to have context and I get to have an understanding of what's happening, and so that I get to break and pattern those shadows in real time, which can be an excruciating process, right? So the shadow that's transiting right now, the 40th gene key, which is known as the will to surrender, you know, this will to surrender. And I think that on the spiritual journey, we all think that we're all surrendered, but man, a circumstance will come that'll make you surrender even more deeply. You know, it's this shadow of exhaustion. And it has so much to do with what Richard says is like the correct use of will, you know, and it's this energy versus force. And when we are moving through a circumstance that we are trying to force, it is going to deplete and exhaust. And when we do surrender and we have the trust and the faith and the non-attachment, it's like we touch a well of, it's like unending depth of energy that floods into us that allows us to create more. So this energy of exhaustion is such a beautiful clue. And I just really went through this. And so I'm curious how this may be manifesting for you all out there. I fully recognize that I was put in a circumstance where, once again, having really released all my anchor points and all the things that I have to feel safe and secure moving across the world, leaving everything, and then have landed here. And then I need to be out of this place in 10 days, right? And it was so interesting because what that propelled was this journey to like diving into all the places and figuring out where I was going to live and where I was going to go and finding something that was in the budget, and really spending a lot of time to find the place so that I knew where I was going so that I could feel safe. And what transpired was a place that I looked at that was out of the budget, but it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was fine. And it wasn't quite in alignment. And I witnessed myself really trying to force that situation to manifest itself. And what happened was not only exhaustion and feeling really drained and depleted, and my partner who I'm traveling with, a dear friend of mine, really pointing out that I'm trying to align with something that really is not in alignment. It was out of the budget one, just so you know, it was out of the budget. I had texted to her a couple of times and gotten responses that just didn't feel really in alignment or very open. Basically, like trying to make this happen, kept putting up walls. And so what ended up happening is I could feel a wall going up between myself and the person that I'm traveling with. And she's a very wise woman, and it created some discord between us. And I really had to sit, with this energy of force and feeling what it's like to be depleted by it. I think it was the following day or the day after, we had a heart-to-heart talk. And because she's so intuitive and has such amazing insight, she was able to present to me a different perspective, a viewpoint. And I was able to see all of the ways in which I was trying to contort the outside world to make myself feel safe and to alleviate the fear and to make sure that I and her are taken care of, and to just make it happen so that I didn't have to wonder anymore what would happen, and then allowing myself to actually see the way and the amount that I was trying to force everything really brought home another layer. I personally have the 34th gene key 3 times in my profile. So the shadow of force is really energetically a big, big initiation for me. I can see that it was a deep coping mechanism from my childhood. So it comes from trauma and wounding. And it's interesting, right, when we see these things that you think that you have unwound them and that you're stepping more into your gift. And we kind of oscillate a little bit back and forth. But let me tell you, take away everything that you've known and put yourself in a strange place, in an entirely new environment, and watch the shadow arise, And so as I was able to kind of unpack this and see it, it kind of was like a holy fuck, come to God moment in a way that was like, I have to be willing to see this pattern, and I have to be willing to release my attachment to feeling safe, to fully letting myself feel what it is to not know, to truly sit in the unknown, in a foreign place, in just not having any of my touch points, that would make me feel a little bit safer, and also to grapple with, okay, then do I have to leave here? And if I have to leave, where do I go? And I recognized that this was an opportunity to begin to transcend the shadow in a big, massive, massive way. Things are changing and unraveling so rapidly. I feel like the initiations are getting deeper and deeper. And we're able to transmute and alchemize them in real time. This key is part of the ring of alchemy. This particular codon ring is massive at helping us unravel the karma within our DNA to clear out the old programs and the old conditionings so that we can become light, so that our DNA doesn't hold them anymore, so that we can transcend these fears around survival. It's huge. And it is not easy. It is excruciating at times. And can I sit in the discomfort of it all and witness the sensation without attaching any particular outcome to it? Can I just be with the observation of the energy that is alive? And what I recognize as I turn to my breath and I allow my nervous system to just come into parasympathetic, to just find my stillness and my presence, and to know that right now in this moment, I have everything I need. I do not have to force a direction that is not in alignment because it exhausts me. It is quite something to allow yourself to sit in unknown discomfort. It can feel incredibly uncomfortable and very contracted, and you want to distract yourself away from it. But if you can just actually breathe into it, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. A miracle happens. A complete shift in perspective happens. An opening, an expansion happens, where you give yourself the spaciousness and the time and the patience to just be with what is without having to change it. And for me, this is a big part of the resolve. This is a big part of me and the key of resolve, the gift of resolve, of not forcing, but feeling what it is to align with what is for me. Because if I choose based on fear, attachment, not feeling safe, likely the choice I make from that reaction is not going to be in alignment with what I want to create, because I'm creating from a frequency of fear. Therefore, whatever's created in that foundation, that frequency is going to be in it. So in the future, what happens as a result of that choice is going to have the frequency of fear in it. And so because I know this, I have to devote myself to being with myself in the moments where those things arise, and recognizing and giving myself the silence and the solitude until clarity comes, until the next step appears, right? And this is the flow. This is the trust and the faith in the universal energy to move through us. And for me, the resolve is knowing what I need in the moment to be able to give myself that solitude, to be able to say no, to be able to create a boundary, to surround myself with the people who allow me to embody my authentic experience in the moment. and really cheer me on through it. I mean, these are the people that you want in your life. And that's a whole nother topic. But finding the people who truly allow you to rise, to expand, and to shine while you're moving through the density of the shadow and into the gift. And it's those people who will respect your boundaries. And if somebody doesn't respect your boundaries and you can't fully expand and be authentic, then you're going to have to really master your energy and your ability to really understand your own field of energy, know thyself, what is needed in the moment, so that you can begin to unravel those patterns, right? So this is all connected. The deep exhaustion, and this is such a key for, how you move forward. How do you feel energetically in the circumstances that you place yourself in? So if you're in amongst friends, if you're at a job, if you are at an event or an activity, how do you feel in those moments during them and when you leave them? Do you feel like depleted of energy? Do you feel an exhaustion? Or do you feel that endless well of life force moving through you? This is your intuitive, clue to understand the environment that you're placing yourself in, and have the courage to put yourself in the environments that actually feed and expand your energy rather than deplete it and exhaust you. And this can be super painful because along the pathway you lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of people, you lose a lot of places, you lose a lot of comfort and security. It's really, to really become light, you have to let go of all of the density, all of the distortion. You have to call back all of your energy and your empowerment to you. And that which is depleting it, you have to release and let go. And so this whole process with this key has been teaching me that this week. And like I said, it's not easy, but the more and more you get out of your way, this divine will, it moves through you in a way that it's like an internal compass that becomes an inner guidance system. Walking to our cafe the other day to have some coffee, and this sign catches my eye, after hours of looking for a place and then finally giving up. And it's just in the area that I love by my favorite cafe, and it's like 1 bedroom, brand new, what's at me? And I did that and went and saw it, and I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the next step. So it's interesting to have witnessed myself spend all that time trying to force something, and then recognizing that's when it's right, it just appears. And it's something to really surrender your attachment to making things happen. The resolve, the divine will is almost like an emptying out, to coming into stillness, to allowing the will of the divine life force to move through you. You have to be empty to be filled. If you have all kinds of ideas and agendas within you of things that you need to make happen, there's no space for the divine to move through, the divine will to serve you, for you to serve the divine will, and what I recognize in this ascension process, working with this living field, is that as I am stripped bare of my identification and attachments to anything I need, and I have space to let that divine energy move through me, the higher self to move through me, there's like, I think it's like a choiceless choice. Every choice arises, and it's effortless. It's effortless, and paradoxically, at times, you'll put a tremendous amount of energy and work into something, but it will be filling you up. It will be that self-replenishing reservoir of energy from the divine. It's not depleting. Even like making this YouTube video. The first one actually didn't record, so I had to re-record. I'm like, oh no. Thinking, wow, I got to try and remember everything I just said, and then like laughing, like that's not going to happen. This is going to be entirely new, entirely fresh. And that one that didn't record wasn't the one that was supposed to go out. And so, can I just do this again? And I'm sitting here talking, and I can feel the energy moving through. It's like I'm getting more and more replenished because now I had to do it twice, but I'm getting out of my own way. And instead of feeling like I have to do it again, it's more like, ooh, I get to do it again. What's going to come through this time? Can I be curious with it? Can I let myself just have fun and play with it and not try and remember what I said in the last video? So it's so interesting, all the ways life will greet us and meet us, depending on how we hold our intention behind it, right? For me, this is another big piece of every single thing we do, like that getting radically honest with yourself. What is your intention behind that word? What is your intention behind that action? What is your intention behind that thought? When you get still and present, even if there's an activity happening, right? You don't even have to be sitting in stillness. But if there's a stillness within you, it's almost like you have this space to observe the thought that's moving through, to observe the word that's coming out, to watch yourself within the action. And that space allows you to plant the seed of intention in it. So if I'm doing the action of walking to my cafe, it's like, can I release the idea of the destiny of getting to that cafe and having my coffee in the morning? Or can I be so present that I'm seeing the gifts within the walk, the flowers, the plants, the little creatures and insects, the beautiful signs on the villas that are speaking to me? You see, we're so attached to the destination we're trying to get through, we don't realize the journey is the artfulness of our life. That every present moment that we are planting and seeding our intention into our life, we are creating this canvas of art in the present moment that becomes our future self. We're not planting the fear or the anxiety or the mistrust of the unknown into our choice right now. We're so in the present journey that we're constantly planting the seeds of the future self. And we're rewiring all of the old program in real time. And something happens in that space that opens up a field. It like stretches time. A day can feel like a lifetime. It's a miracle how much you can actually create in a day. And I'm definitely one of those people that has to unravel my own impatience and my own desire to get to where I need to be, and enjoy the journey of it. And so for me, it's been a practice of the breath to really connect to what it is to inhale life and to exhale my attachment to it. To find the space between the inhale and the exhale that allows me to open and pivot and see kind of a multi-dimensional perspective, and within that perspective, plant new seeds. It's that spaciousness that allows me to make that transition. So yeah, it's really a miraculous kind of process of enlightening ourselves. And eventually, and I'm not there all the time, but there's moments that there's no thing identified with the moment. It's the all witnessing the creation of everything. And when those moments drop in, they're just, they're exquisite. And so it's a constant practice, especially when the pressure of life causes those little wounded shadow parts of us to arise, and oftentimes we can even think that we're through a shadow aspect of self, and that can appear again at a deeper level. And so we're asked to kind of go back in and even excavate on a deeper level. And this process of ascension continues to teach me. And so I'm here to share that with you and help us all support one another through this massive unraveling and repatterning of all of our pathways, So also with this key, the acupuncture point that it's related to is kind of like right on the back of the head, in the occiput, just like lateral to your spine. And it's a great point. It's called Heavenly Pillar right here. It's one of the window of heaven points, and it's a wonderful point for moving forward with like courage and clarity. And window of heaven points, I mean, this point is like a pillar of light that reaches from the root all the way up either side of the spine into the occiput of the head. And for me, it's like I feel it crisscross often through my throat chakra and help me unwind so that my words are carrying the frequency in the field that then can be received by you, which is my intention behind making these videos as well, so that it's an activation. It's not just me talking to you. There's a frequency that you can allow in and allow it to begin to re-pattern. Sound is really profound at that, as is intention. So just connecting with that point called Heavenly Pillar. And you can even feel that light connecting like a triangle from Heavenly Pillar and like going right on the top of your head as well to the point of 100 meetings, and connecting that pillar that is here, point of 100 meetings, to heaven, and then all the way bringing it, feeling it all the way down to earth. So you become literally a pillar of light as all of your DNA and the synapses of your brain begin to rewire. And it's great to like almost like visualize in your third eye all of the light that is rewiring through your body, and let it intuitively come through you and strengthen your ability to feel all of the processes of light that are happening in your body. And it really does open up your third eye, your crown, your intuition, but it grounds it to the earth. So you become like this grounding cord between heaven and earth. And everything that you're doing, you're putting the frequencies into the earth so that it ripples out and it makes it available to the collective. That's how profound this work that we're doing is. It's really extraordinary. And so, I hope this has helped, and I hope that is giving you some insight. And please, share your experiences of this key and this will to surrender all of your old patterns and processes, how to move from force into flow, and to feel your own inner freedom as you move from exhaustion into that endless well of energy, to create boundaries around your own resolve and what is in service to you, serving and caring for yourself. Self-care is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself, because as you do this internal work that takes, so much devotion, it's like you unwinding it within yourself as unwinding it in the collective. So it's the most profound, I feel like, healing work that we can energetically gift this world, is to heal and know ourselves and really be embodied examples of what it is to hold divine will within us, to plug in and hold that divine voltage within us that will bring up all of our karma. And if you are courageous and fearless, you will just meet it time and time and time again. And this exquisite journey of removing the layers of conditioning and of trauma and of patterns that just are not serving us any longer is such a profound gift that we can give the collective. We are all healers, and we all have a piece to play. We are all pieces of this divine puzzle, lights of God that are forming this tapestry of artfulness that we are weaving together. And it is my intention for this channel that we create a community that feels really supportive from one another as we move through these challenging moments, that we hold each other, that we bless each other, that we love each other, that we recognize ourselves within one another. So I would really love it if you subscribed, if you commented, if you liked it, and much more creative ideas are coming through for different types of containers as we all create this new version of Earth that that we can feel. We can feel, because as the old crumbles and disintegrates and dissolves, we're here to build the new. And so we are the great architects and the builders, and it all is up to us. And that divine God spark that we are activating within each of us. And even the language makes me laugh, because it's like we're not individualized. We are one. We are all connected to the quantum field, particles and waves of light. And so what affects the particle of light that I am affects the particle of light that you are, and it could be no other way. So I think I'll leave it there for now, and I hope that I've brought you the frequency a little bit of the 40th gene key. Even if I haven't gone into detail, you have the energetics of it, and I allow that to guide you into how it shows up for you and to share how it shows up for you. So thank you so much. If you stayed till the end, I deeply appreciate you, and I'm sending you so much love and blessings. Until next time.